I was 14 the first time I read a Stephen King novel and watched the 1976 movie adaptation of Carrie. Stephen King has an unnatural ability to write continuously, spanning decades, covering numerous genres with various lengths, while discussing adult themes, metaphors, and in some cases creating crossover Easter eggs. Like so many of you, I have read The Stand numerous times and own numerous copies, so he may take me on that familiar roller coaster ride that frightens me, moves me, and intrigues me.
I'm scared.
Me too.
I have only ever known the complete and uncut edition that was released in 1990, yet I always find something new and get lost in the horrifying dystopian novel.
Help my wife and my baby, they're sick!
The original manuscript was about 1,400 pages long, and by 1978, the year of its publication, a few hundred pages had to be removed.
Phone rescue services in Braintree now! Hurry up, go on!
In fact, Stephen King was met with an ultimatum from his editor, who basically told him, "Cut out these pages, or we'll do it for you." Without serious edits, the manuscript was an absolute behemoth and would be costly if the book was bound properly. Even with King's popularity in those years, releasing such a book was far too great of an economic risk for his publisher. Let's fast forward to 2020. Stephen King at this time is now a household name. He's written numerous tales over various genres. He's created movie adaptations, television shows such as Under the Dome, and miniseries such as Castle Rock and comic books. For those of you that have never read the novel, I strongly encourage this post-apocalyptic tale. It's about a weaponized flu virus that exposes a worker at a government facility as he runs back to his family to escape this area.
He made it halfway across the country. How'd he do that?
As a chain reaction, the virus begins to spread, and we watch society and civilization quickly crumble, and the survivors must fight for the future of humanity.
The so-called super flu does not exist.
The 4-episode 1994 adaptation had featured a top-tier cast starring Molly Ringwald and Gary Sinise, which led to a record-breaking viewership of 2 Emmy Awards and a 2008 graphic novel. Unfortunately, to say the least, the original miniseries didn't exactly age well and allows for a remake to capture the proper tone, provide an engaging and deep narrative with environmental details that are appropriate for a pandemic, and action that would bring meaning to the phrase show, don't tell. For years, we've waited for an extended, buffed, and upgraded take on the novel, and it has been in the works for many years. Media reports talked about a remake for a possible theater release that would be rated R and about 3 hours in length. Numerous directors and actors were speculated to take part before deciding on the writer-director Josh Boone, best known for his 2014 film The Fault in Our Stars.
Okay, everybody out of the van, let's go! Come on!
The book was written to take place in the near future at the time of its release. We've gotten confirmation that the 2020 show will in fact take place in the present day and will begin in book 2 of the text. I'm not entirely convinced that the show will dismiss the early plot points as we watch the world be brought into martial law, military abuse, and human rights violations, and the take of Stephen King's loneliness of death.
Can you tell us why, Major?
You don't seem to understand the situation here, ma'am. Martial law has been declared. We don't have to put up with you and your pinko friends anymore.
Rather, the show will mirror the approach of the show Lost and later seasons of The Walking Dead as we experience character flashbacks. With the show's desire to keep it present, the New York City Comic Con's virtual panel opened with an address that discussed the parallels between COVID-19 and The Stand. The plans for a remake began in 2011 and is not influenced in any way by the events occurring today. The panel openly contributed the novel's horrors and parallels to Stephen King's imagination. It is important to remember that on March 8th of this year, Stephen King tweeted the following: "No, coronavirus is not like The Stand. It's not anywhere near as serious. It's eminently survivable. Keep calm and take all reasonable precautions." Finally, before we wrap up today, there was an announcement by Stephen King himself over Twitter on August 1st where he stated, "The script for the final episode is written. I was glad that Josh Boone gave me the chance because the final story had been in my mind for 30 years. That is all for today. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Please tell me how you're feeling about this show. Are you excited? Will you be watching the premiere? And I'll see you in the next one.